banners, JINGLIU is here and confirmed for version 1.4. She looks insane. You got to play with her a little bit in the Yangqing story quest, and she washed that, man. That man, you know what I mean? Anyways, if I have footage of her in the story mode, I'll throw it up on screen now. If not, I must have deleted it or something. Anyways, yeah, so she's gonna be a 5-star ice destruction character, AO Pog champion. But what does this all mean? What does it mean for version 1.3 for you guys? And what does this mean for the rest of version 1.4? So let's talk a little bit about it, right? Overall, I mean, she's the destruction ice character. I think that we don't have her kit or anything like that. I'm not going to go into any leaks, but I think that she could potentially be worth saving for. She's in the kind of the same boat as I would say Danny is, right? Whereas I think Danny might be a little bit more important as far as typing damage goes. He's an imaginary DPS character, whereas she's an ice DPS character. These are two things we're kind of lacking. I mean, I guess you can use Welt as an imaginary DPS. You can use Yukong as an imaginary DPS if you ever hire Eidolons. JINGLIU, I mean, we don't really have any other ice DPS in the game. Maybe DPS March 7th? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could try to run that. Or Yangqing if you have him, of course. But, I mean, this does give you another option as far as that goes. We'll talk more about that stuff, though, when we actually get her kit and we know more about her and the rest of the characters on the banner, because we still don't know what other characters are coming in version 1.4. I'm assuming in the next couple days we'll figure that out. I'll probably make an update video on this whenever those characters come out, because content, you know. Anyways, so realistically, guys, should you be saving for JINGLIU, maybe skipping some of the characters of this next patch? Honestly, I think if you have Blade and Luocha, I think she might be cracked for you. You know, like I said, I'm not talking about leaks. You know where to find those if you want to really find those. But I think she's going to be really cracked if you have Luocha and Blade, just because of their synergy together. Absolutely cracked, absolutely amazing. I mean, with the ability to just throw Blade on any team, and what we've seen from other destruction characters, aka Clara, aka Blade, hell, even Arlon, you can just kind of throw them into teams. You can kind of put whatever you want on them, and they just kind of work, you know? Blade, for example, right? You can just kind of throw him on a team, put him on auto, he really doesn't die. Clara, same thing, right? Clara, you can just kind of throw into any team that's weak against physical weakness. Really throw any fodder piece that has like crit rate, crit damage on it, and she's good to go. Same with Arlon as well. I mean, Arlon is a little bit harder to run, I would say. I think she'll amplify him a lot, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Also, on top of this, I think this could tell us that we are getting more story for the game as well, because I really do think that JINGLIU, judging from Yangqing story quest anyways, that she's going to play a pretty big part as far as like what we're doing in the story right now with the Stellaron still on board, because she's trying to find Blade. She hasn't found Blade yet, so she has to find Blade, and we have to watch that story play out as far as her and JINGLIU. And I really don't think they would release her after the whole story quest is done, because I don't think the hype would really be there as much for her. I think she's a pretty hype unit, and I think she's going to be great, right? And I think a lot of people are excited for JINGLIU. I do think it would kill some of the hype for the character if they actually released the story like next patch, and then they released her the patch after. I just think that will kill some of the steam for her character. I really do think we'll probably get more story in version 1.4, and it's going to be pertaining to her, because she is probably going to be the main banner unit, right? I don't think we're probably going to get any story in version 1.3, if I'm being honest with you, just because we just got story quest in version 1.2. It would be nice if we got it, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I do think that they're going to release more story for her then, which will be really interesting for her character as well. Also, in terms of like free-to-play players and like free-to-play accounts too, I do think that she could be really good for you as well, just because we've seen a trend with other destruction characters. Like I said before, they're really easy to build, and you can just kind of slot them into any team and like let them do their own thing. They're not as much reliant on other characters being in the team, other than, you know, a healer maybe. You don't necessarily need Luocha for them. You don't necessarily need a tank for them, because they're kind of like the tank themselves. They kind of have self-sustain. They kind of are extra defensive. So, I mean, I think this could be a great option for, like, you know, free-to-play accounts, just because they are so easy to run. Or as far as with the knowledge we do have, they have been really easy to run as far as the 5-star units are concerned. So realistically, I do think this could be a pretty good option for free-to-play characters. Also, she's hot too, and she has ice abilities. Not saying ice is that good or anything. It's not really that good in terms of like usability in combat. Of course, freeze like locks the enemy down. They can't use their turn, but their next action is sped up, so you do get like a free turn while you freeze them. But I do think the imaginary break effect is a bit better than the ice break effect. But I do think the break effect she gives is better than like the shock break effect and also the fire break effect, because let's just be honest, most of that shock and fire debuff are just kind of mid, unless you're using Kafka, Dom Mommy Kafka, which she could potentially be better than, because we've seen how good destruction characters are already. So yeah, the break effect that she has is just, I would say, kind of mid. It's not really offensive, it's more defensive. It's not competing with something like Quantum Break, which is both offensive and defensive for no reason whatsoever. Have you seen the damage that Silverwolf does with that break effect? We're not gonna talk about that in this video. It's insane. If you haven't seen it already, go find it. But tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think JINGLIU is gonna be cracked? Because all the destruction characters we've gotten so far, as far as 5 stars go, have been absolutely cracked. Most of the characters in the game we've gotten so far have been absolutely cracked, barring Jingyuan, but we do have a video coming out on that, actually comparing Jingyuan's damage to Kafka's damage when he's built properly. I think it's a pretty interesting video, and subscribe if you haven't already if you want to get notified when that comes out. Anyways, that's besides the point. Does this announcement right here tell you guys to skip version 1.3 for yourselves now that you know she is confirmed for version 1.4? I want to know all your thoughts on this in the comments below. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's video. I know it was short, but I try to make it short, sweet, and simple, talking about my thoughts on her. And yeah, anyways, that's going to do it. Bye, guys. See you later. I won't stall anymore. Bye.